Another intense Malayalam thriller for which I had to travel 80 kilometers back and forth. And the constant question I've been asked is, was it worth it? So let's break it down. Hello guys, I'm Nona Prince and today talking about the latest Malayalam film Echo with the tagline of The Infinite Chronicles of Kurichin. Directed by Dinjit Ayathan and written and shot by Bahul Ramesh. Now the reason I had to travel so long to watch this film because IFFI is happening in Goa, a film festival, and all the theaters near me are taken up by them. That's the reason I had to go very far to watch it. I'm sure if that was not the case, the film would have been playing near me. And that's a big change that has happened over the years. Now there has been a big hype behind this film because of its makers, who previously made Kishkinda Kandam, and we all know about that film. So another thriller from them, and the trailer also looked really interesting, and that has generated a lot of buzz around it. And because I am a day late to watch this film, I already know on social media people are raving about this film. And for a thriller, all of these things can backfire too. Hearing all this great word of mouth, people will go in with great expectations and may come out disappointed. But that may not be the case with this film, because its strongest trait is the mood it creates. The narrative of this film is not dependent on the twists and turns gonna offer, but the atmospheric nature it makes you experience. The film is almost like a slow burn. It takes time to reveal the things to you, and they use the craft to keep you engaged throughout. Technically, the way they have captured the location, the way the music is used, the sound, I could literally feel the temperature of that location sitting in the theater. Or maybe the AC was too good. But the location is a big part of the narrative. The thrill, the tension it creates through the atmosphere. You almost never see the sun. Everything that's taking place is happening in the mist, where things are hidden from us. Now, this film is part of the Animal trilogy by the writer Bahul Ramesh, and it's more of a spiritual trilogy where we have Kishkinda Kandam, Kerala Crime Files Season 2 and Echo. And if it is not obvious, all three films have a connection with animals, particularly with the dogs in two of them. They are very integral part of the narrative. This time around it's about masters and slaves, a breed of dogs which can be trained really well. And the way the film uses them, they make them act, it is so good. It's already a task to get a performance out of a human, and they make it happen with dogs. And at no point all felt random. It was very convincing job. And throughout the film, there are many points I was really wondering how did they pull this off, especially with the high altitude, the kind of sequences we see. Like the technical department has done a crazy job. Now let's come to the storytelling aspect, and I'll not delve into spoilers. I have learned my lesson before. There's just one line from the film I want to use here, that sometimes protection and restriction looks the same. Now the way they have taken this concept and idea and rooted it into the cultural and historical landscape of Kerala, of a particular region, it's just outstanding. And through that create a whole enthralling narrative. And this is the uniqueness of Malayalam cinema. I don't think any other industry could have pulled it off. Maybe it's lack of my awareness, but just like Kishkinda Kandam, even Echo, I have not seen anything like this before. And the film doesn't rely on the big names. It's all about the story. And I don't think such film would even get made in any other industry. Now this film is the kind of thriller where it's a game of information for both the characters in the film and the audience is watching it. Now the characters of course know each other, but they don't know what other people have done. They're unaware of that, and that's what they want to find out. And for the audience, we don't know anything. So first we need to learn about the world, then the characters, and then we learn about what each one of them has done. And as we get more and more information, we get to piece it together, and that reveals the big picture we wanted to know from the start. Now I felt with Echo, this whole process had its flaws. There were a lot of choices this film made that I was not a fan of, and it really took things away from the film. Now it is very hard to put your point across without getting into the spoilers. You cannot really talk properly, and I don't want to reveal anything. I did that once in the past and people are not happy about it. So instead we can do a spoiler live stream where we can talk about this. If you would like that, let me know in the comments. I will give a warning that if you have seen the film, then only continue watching, because there might be minor spoilers, not intentionally sharing the plot details, but to give you some context of where I'm coming from and why it didn't work for me. You have been warned. Now one of the biggest problem I had with the film was a miscasting of a certain character in the film. Like they got a non-Malayali person to play a Malayali character who's very essential to the plot. And throughout the film, I was just unable to understand why they do that. And watching the whole film, it's not even that the plot required that. Like you would have easily casted a Malayali who would fit the role perfectly, but casting a Hindi actor didn't make any sense to me. And it's not that the performance was bad, but he just didn't fit the world I was watching. And maybe because I know the actor, I know his face very well, and that's why I just couldn't accept his inclusion in the film. And he's a really good actor, but in Hindi, not in Malayalam. And I actually talked to some Malayalis watching the film. What did you think of that? How was his Malayalam? Was his matching or not? And and they said it was off. They could tell. And at many moments, when the actor has big dialogues, he's shot from the behind, so you cannot see his lips. The only reason I could come up with that Malayalis would not be familiar with the actor, and the actor would not have any baggage. People would not be able to understand. There'll be a mystery with him. Is he a good guy? Is he a bad guy? But for me, it just was a big disconnect. People who have seen the film, let me know what you think of that. Now, a big prominent reveal in the film didn't surprise me that much because I saw it coming. I predicted it, and I could see the film is trying to miss characters, and maybe I feel that because I had called it. I also felt at a lot of moments that the drama was being forced out of the film. Now, not comparing the films, but if you take Kishkinda Kandam and Echo, the nature of the storytelling in both of them is very similar. In Kishkinda, the drama was very inherent. It was in the moment itself. Whereas in Echo, I felt at a lot of moments the drama was being created through the execution. Now, there's this action sequence during the climax of the film that really stood out to me because narratively it felt very unwanted. It felt out of place. I would agree the execution of it was really cool, a fight happening in a jungle, but logistically it was not making sense. The idea behind the scene could have been told in a much simpler manner, and that could have given a bigger impact. I also felt a lack of emotional connect with the film because there's just too much plot information that I need to gather from the film, and because of that there is not enough character information that I get, and because of that I cannot really hold on to any character. I cannot bond with anyone, and that's why you are left with more questions than the answer. But that should be a case for a film with an open ending, but I don't think this film has an open ending because in an open ending it's about interpretation, but that's not the case with this film. And the final reveal in the film is really cool. It was unexpected, but for me what it lacked was that emotional weight. I didn't feel it. The actors did a good job. Sandeep Pradeep, after Padakalam, I knew he has something in him and he get to show that in this film. Biana Momin as the older Zoe, she carries the weight of her character, but I just needed more to be invested in the characters. And it is a film where I felt as a non-Malayali, that doesn't really happen often, but the casting could have been better because it's not just about one or two characters, it is kind of an ensemble cast, and that factor is kind of missing there. Now the big question, was it worth going all the way to watch this film? And my response to that is, does it really matter? I'm not getting into the preachy mode here, but what is really worth of a film? Yes, I drove 80 kilometers going, watching the film and coming back almost took 5 to 6 hours of my life. Yes, the price of the ticket was on a higher side. So the quantitative worth of all of it is how well this video does. How far does it reach? How does it help me to grow the channel? It is my bread and butter. But personally, at a deeper level, the worth of the film is not defined by if the film was good or not. It is about that experience. Sitting in a dark room, watching the film on a big screen with an audience with you, and to see the story unfold. And at the end of the day, it was my choice to go and watch the film because I wanted to watch it. I was excited about it. And film being good or bad cannot change that fact. So was the film worth it? Of course it was. The moment I chose to go there, it was worth it. And it may appear to be a negative review that I didn't like the film. That's not the case at all. It was just the choices that the film make that I couldn't fully enjoy the film. But that was not the case with this film. Check out my review if you haven't. Do let me know your thoughts. I know people love the film. It has worked for many. So do share your opinions in the comments below, and I will see you next time.